Good morning. Welcome to the Atlanta Parmvere Cricket Fields in Atlanta, Georgia. This is a Group A matchup between the Atlanta Falcons and the Carolina Smashers, and you have just seen the fall of the first wicket. One ball, one wicket. Forgive us for not having all of our information available. You have no score on your card or on your screen. We're working on getting that rectified as soon as possible. But in the meantime, the Atlanta Falcons have won the toss and decided to bat. Initially, that looked like a good decision, but they might be reconsidering it after the results of that first ball. A wicket taken in that first ball, and the second delivery of the match is now helped in the air. My goodness, stays in the air a very long time. Almost went 2-2 that time. Bowler coming from the northern end of the ground is. We'll figure out exactly who all of the specifics are as soon as we can. By the way, this is Brian Walters. I happen to be joined here, hopefully sometime in the very near future, by a partner, so I don't have to commentate the whole day by myself. Third delivery played into the offside for no run, so a relatively interesting start. One ball or one wicket from the first ball of the day, and then since then, a couple of dot balls, one of which was almost a second wicket. But once again, the Atlanta Falcons winning the toss and choosing to bat. I don't know necessarily that they might regret that, but we'll see how that goes. This is played into the offside again. A good line being bowled. Everything right just outside off stump, probably a fourth stump line, and asking the batters to play away on the offside, which is what you want to have your fast bowler do opening the bowling. So So the bowler is Naman Patel. Okay. We have our information a little bit better now. Naman Patel is the batter, or the bowler. You know what? We'll get our stuff together very shortly. One overdone. We'll get everything to you as soon as what we can, and we'll join back here in a few seconds.
check, check one. Mic check one.
Ready? Mic check, mic check. Good. So good. So
Yeah.
all right.
So good to go.
Okay. 3-for-1 after the first over. Oops. Let's just start fresh, starting the third over, because all this moving parts are a little bit. Welcome back to the Paramvera Sports Complex. I believe that we have all of our bearings about us now. So 2 overs up. The score is 5-for-1. Bowling now. Second over being bowled here by Naman Patel, the vice captain. First delivery wrapping him on the pad, not out. And happy to be joined here in the commentary area by Sahar Swetan. Sahar. Swetan, you know what? Start talking, please.
Well, it's that kind of a day. Thanks for having me here, Brian, and another opportunity to be calling a game with you. It's brilliant again. We've done this in Houston quite a few times. In the first time in Atlanta, as the batter actually drives one towards the deep mid-wicket region. A little bit of a heavy outfield, not helping from securing a boundary. Well, until a couple of deliveries ago, the only thing we were certain about was there was a cricket match happening, nothing else. And now we have more information. This is a matchup in Group A at the Atlanta Open 2023 between Carolina Smashers and the Falcons. Carolina Smashers batting first, lost a wicket of the very first delivery, and have since recovered slightly, scoring six runs so far.
Sudan Trubakpai is the batter on strike. So far he has 6 from 13. And Chinmahi Kushari, your scorecard may say Atul a year, apologies for that. But Chinmahi Kushari not yet faced the delivery and has not yet scored a run. So Group A matchup, I'll get back to another question in just a second. So you've obviously seen both of these teams up close. What are you looking for from each of these teams, both of whom are looking for a first win of the season?
Absolutely. It's a match of not much of significance in the context of the tournament. Both the teams have tried some youngsters. They've given some opportunities for them to be and play alongside and against some star players. Like, for example, the Falcons. The skipper of the Falcons is Abhimanyu Mithun, a former Indian Test cricketer. And it's a wonderful opportunity for some of the youngsters, 15, 16-year-old, to
get back for that. Just a second. Lofted drive over the infield. Now, it's going to be interesting to see how each of these teams, and you mentioned that the captain is a former Indian test cricketer. What sort of impact do you think that players like him can have on the youngsters?
One thing I straight away noticed was these guys had the respect for a player of that pedigree, and the discipline was right up there from word go. Otherwise, I see 15, 16-year-old kids just not up there with their focus and discipline on a field, not necessarily from ball one at least, but that was up there. The respect was there. And then they keep picking the brains of these stars and have a thing or two about their routines, etc., to learn from. So I see a lot of opportunity for them to, and they have been using them.
Okay, so that is the end of over number 3 by my unofficial count. The score is 9-for-1. Short break, we'll be right back. So back to live action. This is driven down the ground. I'll tell you what, youngsters, that was a good piece of in theory by number 25 in the field, Ishan Goel, using his foot to stop that one. But youngsters, word of advice from an old guy. I did that exact same thing in a match several years ago. Stepped on the ball and broke my ankle. So if you can, possibly, go down and stop that ball with your hands. And the second delivery now of the over. That one stays a little bit low, shoots through right to the keeper. So in theory, the energy and the experience of a former Indian Test player would have ripples through the entirety of the team. And I want, after this ball, for you to express from your perspective what impact you've seen. For example, look, you have a youngster who is just now coming along in his craft, somebody like your son, or any of the other youngsters who would have seen these people up close and personal. And then also I want to hear from your perspective about what it's like to play in a tournament of this magnitude. Played off the back foot, no run.
Absolutely. Abhimanyu Mithan is a soft-spoken guy himself, but he's always made himself available for any kind of a discussion. I've seen some of the kids and some of the adults as well go and have a few words with him, and he's expressed his success stories, his routines, like I was saying earlier, and anything, you know. So it's a definite opportunity for anybody to learn.
Slashed away, that may just have the legs to get to the boundary. Cut away fiercely, a little bit too much width offered by Vivek Chopra, and taking full toll of that one was Atul, or let's call him Chinmay Kashari. Cut away for 4.
Yeah, and for some of the youngsters, coming back to the topic, they've been playing in a lot of tournaments, age group tournaments, and some local adult leagues. Atlanta Open is one of those very recognized adult tournaments in the country. And they're playing it for the first time, and it's a great opportunity. You know, they're delighted about it. Despite being weekdays, they had to take days off from school, college, and be a part of it, which they wouldn't do for age group cricket normally. And they're willing to do that. I've seen not just in these two teams, but in other teams also a few youngsters doing that. So that tells you how important this is for them, and they're willing to sacrifice other things.
No question. Good looking delivery, a little bit straighter than the one that was slashed away for 4, wanting to be on that off stump line. Maybe that one a touch too straight, but no harm, no foul. Defended into mid wicket for no run. So that is a successful over. 4 runs coming from it. Big picture, 14 for 1 after 4. We'll be right back. This is a Group A matchup, the Carolina Smashers and the Atlanta Falcons. And I think we have all the gremlins worked out now. Carolina Smashers choosing to bat first. Good delivery, Yorker length right in the block hole. This is Naman Patel, who is continuing, the vice captain. In fact, no, apologies. That's the new bowler. This is going to be, in fact, yes, that is Naman Patel. 2 overs so far. 1 for 6. Again, he took a wicket with the first ball of the match, and you're only scoring 3 runs and over off of him. So good start from him. What do you know about him as a bowler?
I saw him bowl in the last couple of games. He was pretty disciplined. He had, he bowled the new ball in both the games, and he was bowling a pretty decent line and length. The batters, when they tried to do something like coming down the track or making room, he was able to adjust pretty well. And I think that's another reason why he's bowling his 3rd over on the trot.
Of course, we're outside of the power play overs. I'm sorry, we're still inside the power play overs, so only 2 fielders allowed outside of the circle. Those 2 fielders down at deep 3rd and backward square leg. In fact, that change was just made to backward square leg. Makes you think potentially there could be a short ball coming sometime soon. This is just defended into mid wicket for no run. And in terms of the batters, because you said you know both these teams very well, and I know one of them and I don't know beyond that, because the one person who is from the Houston area, Abhinav Sikaram, I've known him for several years. But apart from that, what can you tell us about the batting side?
So the batting side is from North Carolina. A bunch of very talented adult cricketers. They've been wanting to participate in tournaments of this nature. They participated in the Houston Open. Most of the players who are in this Carolina Smashers played in that tournament too. And they're using this as a learning opportunity to see and also assess where their cricket is. And if there are definitely some youngsters who want to make it big in this sport at whatever capacity they're able to. So it's a combination of wanting to learn and also play alongside some better cricketers in the country.
Absolutely. So 2 balls remaining here in over number 5. Yorker length again, played into the covers for no run. And alternatively, with 1 ball remaining here in over number 5, the bowling side, what can you tell us about them?
Bowling side, predominantly a bunch of adult cricketers from the Atlanta area, mixed with some youngsters around the country. Abhinav Shikaram from Houston, Rishi Ramesh is from Dallas. He's also in the side. Sahar Shwetan and Ansh Rai from North Carolina.
So what I'm hearing is there's a blend of youth and experience on both sides. That is the end of over number 5. 16 for 1 after 5. Quarter of the way through this match. Starting out with a very sedate start here, but look to warm up sometime soon. We'll be right back. So Vivek Chopra bowling his 3rd over, keeping both opening bowlers on, and that's a good piece of running. Just dropping it into the onside and running through for a quick single. So I would think elements like that, just drop the ball into the vacant area and run through for a quick single. Those are the kinds of things that you think that these youngsters will be able to learn from more experienced cricketers.
Absolutely, they have been learning, and they will. I'm just surprised that Abhimanyu Mithun is not bowling the opening spell. It could be because they had some challenges with the death bowling. They lacked the experience in both their previous games. So I think he's just holding himself back to bowl those middle and death overs probably. Have to wait and see. I hope it's not something related to an injury or a niggle.
So probably not too early to start looking at projected scores. We're into the last over of the power play. We'll go through those in just a second. That ball staying just a little low, played into the offside for a quick single. So we are now into over number 6. 20 runs are on the board. That translates to a scoring rate of 3.64. I suppose that you'll want a much better, much more healthy scoring rate than that. That projects overall to 73 runs on the day, and I know that you're going to want more runs than that as this is driven through the offside. Should be a couple more. A lot of work by the sweeper on the offside. And so one might think that scoring would start picking up now, even though you're not necessarily hitting 4s and 6s. In fact, just none of those yet. In fact, 1 4 and no 6s. But the need is there to start scoring with more urgency.
Yeah, I think their previous innings was also playing in their minds. You know, they got out for much less than 100 runs in either games that they played. In both the games they played. So this game, I'm sure the Carolina Smashers know is an equal matchup of sorts. So that gives them an opportunity to win. So they don't want to throw it away. Right now, I think they're going through a resurrection process after the loss of the first wicket of the very first delivery. And I'm sure they have some batters who can hit big, and they'll be looking in excess of 130, 140, I would say.
Full delivery, clip behind, square on the leg side, single. I believe that would be the completion of over number 6. Power play is done and dusted. Scoring may become a little bit more difficult now with the field able to be spread out. That is the end of 6. 23, make that 24 for 1. So the first bowling change of the day sees Hir Patel bowling from the northern end of the ground. Going to be bowling now to two batters who have effectively stemmed the tide. In other words, they've steadied the ship. A wicket fell from the very first delivery, but this pair now putting on a partnership of 24. Hir Patel looking to break that partnership. Slowly tossed up in the air. That's going to be driven through mid-wicket. They may look for two here. In fact, no. So Hir Patel, left arm orthodox spinner. That much is apparent. But tell us more about him as a bowler.
He's a homegrown talent. Played as a youngster. He's still a youngster, probably in his 20s now. Has done really well in local cricket in Atlanta as well as in minor league cricket. He's a go-to person for wickets. I've seen him come and pick wickets when things are not going in favor of his team many occasions. Bowled particularly well yesterday as well. Not this one. Full toss down the leg side. A little bit of a rarity. But in general, he's a good, recognized, consistent left-arm spinner.
So bowling left arm around the wicket. Bowling to Sudhanshu Bagpai, 16 from 25. Chinmay Kasari at the other end. This is a better length delivery played into the leg side. That's just going to be a single. So Sudhanshu Bagpai, 17 from 26. Atul will make that Chinmay Kasari 10 from 12. Chinmay with the one boundary that has been struck so far. If you're looking to accelerate, where are you going to get that momentum from?
Both these cricketers have played minor league cricket. Sudhanshu Bajpai has played for the St. Louis Americans consistently. He was also a part of the squad this year. Chinmay Kushare has played for the Lightning in the 2021 season and Morrisville Raptors in the 2022 season. So they have a lot of experience playing at a level that's probably even slightly higher than this. So this would be the partnership that would actually get them going. So they know how to go about things. They, I think, have seen that initial jittery moments off. They've settled themselves nicely. I think Chinmay would start going after the youngsters in particular. There's Hir bowling right now, and then there's Ansh Roy also. So he will target the bowlers, and the advantage of knowing the opposition and the strengths and weaknesses is going to come into play.
Okay, so just two deliveries remaining now here in over number 7. Scoring rate picking up just a touch. 4.5 and over is what we're looking at now, projecting to a score of 90. So what do you think a competitive score, and you can answer after this delivery, a competitive score on this wicket under these conditions would be what in your mind?
I think about 140 would be par score on a wicket like this. Anything lesser than that could be difficult to defend. So about 140, I think either teams would be happy to see 140. Right now, the way things are going, the Falcons might want to keep it much lesser than that.
Okay, so that is the end of over number 7. Score is 28 for 1. So go with a double left arm spin attack as from the southern end of the ground. This is now Ansh Rai. Left arm orthodox, so both of these lefties are going to be turning the ball, and the pitch looks like it would take some turning it away from the two right-handed batters. Driven right back to the bowler. He put it down. That's not going to be an easy catch, but his reaction there tells you that he thinks that he might have should have held on to that. So excitement straight up, struck right back at the bowler. And I'll tell you what, this is going to be something that he thinks about. Any bowler wants to be able to take his own catches, but he may get a wicket at the second ball anyway. Simple catch taken at backward point. That is Abhinav Sikaram, who I think takes a very straightforward catch. And the acceleration that we were looking for, I think that you saw some evidence of it being essayed, but it only results in a wicket.
A lot of drama there. The first ball, a cotton ball opportunity, goes down, hit fiercely from the middle of the bat, unable to hold on to it, Anshrai. Second ball, tossed it up outside the off stump, spinning away. The batter trying to heave that one, getting a nice leading edge, lobbed up in the air for a safe catch, a backward point by Abhinav Shikharam. Good start here for Ansh, and what a rarity it is to see two left-arm spinners in operation in tandem.
It is. Now, the other thing is, or further to that point, you have two lefty spinners, and I mentioned that you're turning the ball away from them. That's exactly what you saw evidence of there, because looking to loft that one in the air, Sudhanshu Bagpai wanting to play it away on the leg side, but he played across the spin. And with that spin going towards the offside, any amount of turn essentially allows that type of shot to be effectuated. So it kisses off the outside edge, gets a really tight top edge, and taking it backward point. So that is exactly what the thinking would have been by the captain. Captain Abhimanyu Mithun would have wanted to see exactly that when he chose to bring two lefties in. So Varun Papuri is now in. Played away through the offside. Oh, wanted a quick single there, not there. But Varun Papuri, that's a tongue twister. Tell us a little bit about him.
Varun Papuri, tall young lad, must be in his mid-20s right now. Again, a kid that's played a lot of cricket in North Carolina, comes from that area. And he can hit a long ball. I've seen him hit quite a few long balls. Used to be a medium pacer, but has turned to spin right now. We'll talk about that part of his abilities later during the second innings. But yeah, he can bat and he can hit a long ball. And he'd be looking to do that. But right now, pushed on the back foot, playing from the crease, skidder. A big appeal, but the umpire turns it down.
By the way, the umpires today, the umpire in operation from the southern end, the one who had a little bit of think just now and saying no, that is Anvesh Achanta. Currently standing at square leg is Byron Roberts. Tossed up, good-looking delivery, and defended in front of the stumps for no run. What an excellent over, a wicket maiden, ladies and gentlemen. If you can believe that, in a T20, it's not one of the more common things that you see, but Anshrai with a successful start with the ball. And the score after 8 is 28 for 2. So successful change of bowling. Here Patel bowls a very miserly over, and then Anshrai comes on and takes a wicket. So the double spin attack, double left arm spin attack, achieving success this early. This is Chinmay Kashari who cuts this away into the deep just for a single.
His role is going to be very, very crucial for the Carolina Smashers. Chinmay Kushari now has to look to play right through the innings. He's looking in pretty decent touch. Hasn't hit any major boundaries or sixes to start calling the shots, but he has to stay right through to put some sort of a decent score on the board for them.
Left arm around the wicket, played into the offside again, just a single. So you can accept this. In fact, they turned quickly, and I'll tell you what, the coaches will tell you that the reason why you sprint the first one hard is exactly what you saw there. Should have just been one, but they sprinted the first one hard, and that caused a bit of a fumble in the outfield, and they were able to come through for that second run. So here Patel continuing. Flatter through the air this time, and a quick single taken to extra cover. Runs not exactly flowing yet, but it does seem like they're looking to start accelerating after the loss of those two wickets.
Yeah, the second wicket falling at the wrong time for the Carolina Smashers, just as they were looking to start playing or wanting to start play the big shots. They lost Sudhanshu Bajpai, a more senior player in their team, so that's not helping them. This is angled down the leg side, missing the leg stump, an easy flick towards the backward of square for a single.
So Varun Papuri is the vice captain. To the extent that you want leadership, maybe a 20-something qualifies as older on this team. That's a good-looking shot. That is Rishi Ramesh at backward point, one of the safer hands that you'll see anywhere, but not able to collect that one cleanly. Rishi Ramesh, the captain of the USA U19 team that a few weeks ago happened to win a ticket to the World Cup, U19 World Cup next year in Sri Lanka. Rishi Ramesh also a member of the Dallas Mustangs, who just won the championship in the minor leagues this past Sunday in Grand Prairie, Texas. And so a lot of accomplishment, a lot of youth on the field, but also a lot of accomplished players. This is a loopy, slow delivery, and that's actually well played. They run through for a quick single. So looking to start picking runs up now, bit by bit.
I think that was the end of that over, and the score is 35 for 2. Chinmay Kushari on 13 and Varun on 4.
Ansh Rai, 1 over, 1 wicket, no runs. Those are the kinds of figures that you'd want to see. The upside, conceding the first run for the day. But again, a really good bowler, and at this stage of the innings, you'll accept singles, and anything that you're getting that's around that 5 and over or less mark is what you want from your spinner.
Absolutely. Started off with a maiden, which is a rarity in T20 cricket, like you called some time back, and it's not going to be easy to get away.
Oh, stunning. Absolutely stunning. Driven right back at the bowler. Now he's claiming the catch. The batter is not going anywhere. And in fact, I think Anved Chachanta may be of the opinion that that did not carry. So stunning piece of fielding. Thought with the naked eye that that might have been a catch. It would have been a good low sharp catch, but ultimately deciding that it was not out. Tossed up now and worked around the corner. Should just be 1. No, yes, no. I'll tell you what, that indecision may just have cost them potentially a wicket, because the running between the wickets has not necessarily been assured. On this occasion, the luck did not hurt them.
Yeah, just going back to that cotton ball, the bowler himself did not look very convinced. So he took that and he turned towards the umpire. Of course, the umpire didn't have a clear view of that either. Oh, it was a...
Oh, my goodness. He knocked him over. Tossed up, inviting the drive. And Varun Papuri looking for the big shot down the ground. Ultimately missing out on the attempted drive. And that kisses the off bail. So a second time in fact, the second wicket taken by Ansh Rai, the third wicket overall. The score is now 38 for 3. What did you see there?
Brilliant bowling by Ansh Rai. Every time he's almost got every batter out twice if you look at it. The first batter, Sudhanshu, almost cotton ball, then holding out, and then the second over, similar sort of an effort, a cotton bowled opportunity, not given in his favour, and comes back and bowls him. It was always about a call that was a missed-stumping opportunity. Didn't see the off-stump being pegged down, but brilliant bowling. This is what a start.
Excellent bowling. So 38 for 3. Partnership. They tried to put together a partnership that didn't exactly come off. 10 runs were added between those two. But unfortunately, he has been dismissed, Varun Papuri. And it is now going to be Jeremy DeLima taking his turn at the wicket. Ansh Rai, a very, very good bowler, very economical bowler, and certainly helping to build pressure here. Siddharth on YouTube wants to know whether or not they're playing T20s or tests. Siddharth, you may have a point, and I think they want to accelerate. Now, look at this. I don't know whether or not this would have been the order ordinarily for Jeremy DeLima coming in. and maybe I'd like to hear your thoughts on that. But Jeremy De Lima is a left-handed batter, and so maybe if this is his normal place in the lineup, that would be one thing. But if not, maybe he's been promoted ahead to be able to offset the effectiveness of the two left-arm spinners.
Yes, it definitely presents an opportunity to play with the turn, but Ansh is a clever bowler as he completes a second over and he'll be up to the task. It's 38 for 3, another successful over for the Falcons.
So change in bowling. Two successful overs bowled by Hir Patel. None for 11 with those two. And the bowling now taken up from the northern end of the ground by Govinder Singh. Right-hander. So he'll be turning the ball. If there's any turn, oh my goodness, he's not having to worry about turn here because the under edge trickles onto the stumps and the fourth wicket goes down. So the spinners are the ones doing the damage. They're bowling economically and they're taking wickets. Drags this one on.
I was almost about to say why they would change. Hir Patel, who was bowling well from the other end, bowled a couple of economical overs. Gurinder Singh went for plenty of runs in his spell yesterday. His first over especially went for 21. But then that's what happens, sometimes the captains make a decision looking at something and then it works in their favor. This time it did. A second ball wicket for Gurinder Singh, and the set, I don't know if I can call him a set batsman, but the one who was playing for so long goes away and just adds a huge dent into the batting efforts of the Carolina Smashers. 4 down.
4 down. You're into the second half of the innings and you do not yet have 40 runs on the board. So this overall is shaping up to be a relatively difficult time with the bat. You suggested 140 would be a decent score, maybe a par score. But now you're at the point where you're more than 100 runs away from that total with only 58 balls to go. The new batter is Ali Syed. So 2 lefties at the crease. We'll see exactly how they'll be able to manufacture some runs here. But they're going to be in a situation where scoring has become more difficult and the bowlers, especially the spinners, are building the pressure. Oh, short and help down the leg side, but just one. Boy, that ball was a real drag down, but maybe slightly tentative. I suspect if he's been in there a little bit longer, Ali Syed, he plays a more aggressive shot to that one.
If that's sort of a day for the Carolina Smashers, a rank bad ball, and then it goes straight to the fielder on the bounce, luckily, at least didn't carry. That's the only happy part of that for the Smashers. It should have gone out of the park.
Yeah, that was the stereotypical drag down. Govinder Singh again. Fuller. Oh, huge swipe. Look at that piece of fielding. Rishi Ramesh. To the naked eye, I almost thought it was a catch, but no, effectively no edge taken, but a good piece of fielding to continue that pressure. This should be the last ball of the over. Oh, Peel for stumping. Boy, there's one happy father sitting beside me. Unfortunately for Sahar Shwetan, his appeal for stumping is turned down by Anvesh Chanta, but a great over. So that is 1 run coming from that over and the wicket. At the end of 11, the score is 39 for 4. Anshrai continuing. 2 overs, 2 for 3 with 1 maiden. And spin heavy attack here. And that has 2 advantages. Number one, it shows you the amount of skill that has to be cultivated. Anshrai bowling now to the left arm, left-handed batters. This is played into the leg side. They may look for 2 here, but I'll tell you what, they jogged the first one very slowly. But the second thing I was saying is that it presents us an opportunity to start thinking about what is on the lunch menu for today. To the extent that, you don't necessarily want a team to do badly, but if a game gets finished more quickly, then you get to lunch easier.
Yeah, we're in the middle of nowhere here. It's going to take at least 30 minutes to find a decent restaurant.
Great piece of keeping. Boy, he must have learned it from his coach. He did not learn that from his father, I can be assured. But it's a tremendously beautiful piece of keeping. It's never easy to take them down the leg side. Sahar Shwetan showing you how it's done there. And another one goes by. Wave and a miss.
Almost
Pressure.
another wicket there. Almost another wicket there, and inside edge, just missing the stumps a little bit. So just talking about the restaurants, 30-minute drive, you wouldn't have had an opportunity to go to any restaurants here during the games. Today might be the opportunity for you.
That may just be the case as Anshrai continuing to spin a web of unplayable deliveries. He has bowled 2.4 overs. He has not yet conceded. In fact, he's conceded exactly 5 runs, but he's tying the batters into knots. And now building the pressure as a man is going into short mid-wicket. That is going to be Govinda Singh. Look at that bounce on that delivery. That may just be a top edge. I think that came off the edge. They'll get 2. Watch umpire here. Umpire Anvesh Shanta. No signal. So that did come off the top edge. Too thick an edge for a certain Sahar Shwetan to take that catch.
Absolutely. It was off the thick edge and it was bouncing over his gloves. Unable to gather. It would have been a miraculous catch had he taken that.
Down the ground this time. Do they look for 2? They would have to look for, in fact, again, the running is not exactly assured. They're not sprinting the first one hard and they're not sure of themselves. And all in all, it's adding up to, I think, a very tentative approach by these 2 batters.
I think it's a combination of heavy legs as well as the tentative nature of the innings itself.
Well, they do not have a whole lot of time to turn things around here. Only another 48 balls remaining. 17 runs have come from the last 5 overs. So a rate of 3.4 is exactly what Siddharth on YouTube says is a test type of a scoring rate. End of 12, the score is 45 for 4. Gurinder Singh, 1 over bowled, 1 wicket taken, and 1 run. And they're piling on the pressure now as Rishi Ramesh at first slip, and that appears to be Abhinav Sikaram at second slip. A ball looking to take the ball away from the 2 lefties, as I mentioned. And by the way, we just spoke about what it looks like, as this is going to be an overthrow, a bit of a sloppy piece of cricket. Actually, it was incidental. The throw came in from the covers and I think struck the boot of the batter, and it goes through for an extra run. So a bonus run there. But speaking of tests, somebody points out that there's a leg slip playing in a T20, and that somebody's last name is Sikaram. I'm going to assume that that person may just be related to the man standing at second slip, Abhinav Sikaram. Another couple runs here. In other words, Krishna, good morning. Hope you're doing well.
There's no doubt in my mind which Shikaram that one is. I know he's been watching, and Abhinav has been especially batting really well in this tournament. Scored the most number of runs in the for the Falcons in both the games that they've played so far. Scored 40 odd in both the innings. So he's been doing well. Gurinder Singh comes from the west coast of Canada to play in this tournament as a specialist all-rounder. He can bat middle of the innings, hit the big ones, and also bowl some spinners like he's been doing right now.
Good sound off the bat, but that should just be one to mid-wicket. So you've gotten to the point now where you're starting to look towards the back end of this innings. You want to be able, Krishna, great to know you're doing well. You want to know that you can essentially generate some sort of momentum, but that momentum is not coming. And to the extent that you know that things need to be picked up, you don't have any runs yet. You don't have any wins yet so far in the tournament, and so you want to make sure that you make a good account for yourself. But it essentially is the case that you're having trouble generating any kind of momentum. This should be two if they run hard, but boy, that first run, that is more than enough time I would have thought for them to push for two. They choose not to, and that is the end of another over, a miserly over, potentially because of the good bowling, but again, some part of it I think has to come down to a lack of urgency by the batters. End of 13, 52 for 4. Make that 53 for 4.
Anshrai bowling his last over. He's picked up 2 wickets already, given away 11 runs, and he'd want to pick at least another one to finish off on a very, very high note. It's the last game he'll be playing in this tournament, and he'd want to go home very happy.
Well, he's bowling beautifully. 2 balls to go, 2 for 11 are his figures. So anytime you can get that kind of productivity from a spinner, bowling when you know that the batters want to attack you. Oh, appeal for an LBW. Exactly what happened there, not exactly sure, but that might have just been slipping down the leg side. Umpire Anvesh Chanta believing that that just would have gone on to miss the furniture. But yet another dot ball. So 1 ball remaining in the day for Anshrai. Played back to the ball himself. Can't field it on his follow through. So, throw at the bowler's end. A better throw may well have had him. This time you see the urgency that we've been asking for now for a number of overs. It's finally being unfurled. 2 runs to come off of that last ball. So 3 runs total coming from the over. But what a spell bowled by Anshrai. 2 for 13 with 1 maiden. Excellent bowling for him. We're down to the last 6 overs. The score is 57 for 4. So we're down to the last 6 overs, believe it or not. We have 36 deliveries remaining, and it actually is the case that we have only had one boundary struck in the entirety of the match. This is clipped to square leg for a single, make that mid-wicket for a single. So to the point that Siddharth is making, boundaries are dried up. Dried up may be not quite stating the reality of the situation, Siddharth, because 1-4 struck for the entirety of this match. Obviously no sixes. Oh, looking for a six that time was Jeremy De Lima, not able to make contact. In fact, that was Ali Syed, not able to make contact.
And finally, the Falcons are getting a little defensive on the field. In the 17th over, they've removed the second slip.
Another wave and a miss. Ali Syed with a couple of big heaves, trying to accelerate, but not coming really anywhere close. This ball is turning a little bit, and I'm telling you, he's looking to play across the turn. So that type of delivery is going to potentially find him in trouble, because if he makes contact with that, it's unlikely that he'll hit it cleanly because he's hitting across the turn.
Yeah, it's very disheartening to see that nobody wants to keep their shape while batting, and this is another opportunity, possibly long off coming around. Stops the boundary, but unable to get under that for a catch.
Well, give him credit. Ali Syed hit it straight enough, still going across the turn, but getting it straight enough that it was not close to either long on or long off. So it's going to be interesting to see whether or not he can continue to manufacture something. This is a better shot into the deep, hit it cleanly, diving attempt down there at the boundary. That's a good save, and they come back for another couple of runs. Tell you what, he's a little casual coming back for that second run. Could have gotten run out, but successful 2 runs. We'll see what happens from this point out, but it looks like they're trying to accelerate here, Svetan.
Yeah.
5 overs remaining. I think it's fair to say that this has not been the most spectacular batting approach that you'll ever see coming from the Carolina Smashers. But cricket is a game that is played in 2 innings, so the game is not yet finished. You want to make sure, number one, if you're the Smashers, that you close out with some degree of momentum, scoring at the rate of 4.13, so that projects you scoring around 83 runs if you maintain this exact same scoring rates. If you get up to the scoring rate of 8 and over, that gets you over 100. I think that really, in all likelihood, should be what they should be aiming at. I don't know that they've shown an ability to get there, but that should be what their mindset is.
Yeah, it's just going to be one-way traffic from here for the batters if they have to get there. They have to score another 35, 40 runs to get to 100. With 6 wickets in hand, they can try, they have to. Some spin taken off, and medium pace being reintroduced towards the later part. So Taranjeet is the new bowler, bowls some medium pace. He's bowling into the surface currently. Slightly short of length, but he's got protection out there for that sort of bowling. And despite all that, the batter's not making the connection yet, so nothing would matter at this point. So
Laid
pitched.
down the ground. This is Ansh Rai, who had a successful spell, bowled really well, now fielding down at long on. So Taranjeet Singh bowling around the wicket to the left-handers. What's your thought? And maybe you can answer after this. Choosing immediately to go around the wicket to the right, to the left-handers. What's your thought on that?
I think he's
Sky
got
in the air. That might land safely. Long run by Long off, and then he misses, but does well to stay inbound. The ball not quite making it to the boundary, but they'll get a couple. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I think he's at least got a clarity of thought. He's got three fielders, deep mid wicket, long on, deep square like cow corner. So he's got the protection. He just wants to bowl into the left-hander. The boundaries are large, and the batters have struggled to make any connection. So, and he knows that it's not going to swing much at this stage. So he's just bowling to a plan that he has in mind, and that's fine.
Pulling this one just wide of that fielder, Abhinav Sikaram, and another couple of runs. Looking, we said earlier, 8 runs and over from where they were at the beginning of this over would get them over 100. You can try to do things to manufacture 8 runs and over, and I think you're seeing some evidence of them attempting to do that just now.
Yeah, once again, I'm surprised that there's an opportunity for the Falcons to just bring the skipper on and crush them. You know, he's a renowned fast bowler, but he's not bringing himself on, more for providing opportunities for the other players.
That's a good looking strike. That might be the second boundary of the day. It is. Couple of bounces, rolls over the rope at deep mid wicket. So intent being shown here. That is a good looking strike. Proper pull into the deep. Ali Syed putting that front foot down, going through the line, dragging that one just wide of Ansh Rai at long on for the second boundary of the innings.
So 5 balls and 10 runs already of the over, the most expensive for the Falcons in this inning. So the ploy to bring Taranjeet has not worked in their favour. Another back of length delivery, tries to heave it towards the deep mid-wicket region, ball hurrying on him, just able to tap it towards long on for a single to finish that over, and the score moves to 73 with 11 runs coming off that Taranjeet over.
Down to the last 24 deliveries, and about the only thing to be decided now is whether or not Carolina Smashers, after having chosen to bat, can get past those magical 3 digits. Driven straight down the ground. That's a good looking shot. Does it have the legs? It does have the legs to get to the boundary. So a fierce looking strike. That is actually a really good, a well played shot right down the ground. Ali Syed now moving up to 32 from 20, in fact 28 from 23 with the second 4 that you just saw. And the Carolina Smashers are looking to generate some sort of momentum towards the back end of the innings. Going in the same direction again, but this time just one bounce down to long on.
Using his feet, positive approach, the boundary from the previous over adding to his confidence, goes down the track and hits it straight as an arrow for a boundary. So yeah, they will be looking to Ali now to score those big runs and get somewhere 115 if possible. If they're optimistic, they can get to 115, 120 if the next 3.5 overs go in their favour. Gurinder Singh now pulling their length back a little bit to Jeremy.
Skyer. May land? No, it will not, because oh my goodness, there was a lot of time for that ball to be in the air, and you would think that communication would have happened between the bowler himself, Gurinder Singh, and the That looks like Abhinav Sikaram running back from mid-off, not able to get to it. The two may consider themselves lucky to have avoided a really ugly collision there, but it just amounts to a single. That takes the score up now to 79.
Was never going to be easy for either of them to catch that one, but the calling also not that good. Almost ran into each other. Lucky that they are up on their feet and didn't hurt anybody.
Productive over so far. So one ball coming or remaining here in over number 17. 19 deliveries remaining in the innings, and let's see how far the Smashers can get. In the air, just landing short, and a direct hit there may well have seen the back of Ali Syed, but luckily for him, he does get to the other end. That is the end of over number 17. 7 runs coming from it. 35 have come from the last 5, so they're attempting to generate some momentum here toward the back end of the innings. 80 for 4 after 17. So Vivek Chopra bowled the 2 overs up front. In fact, he bowled 3 overs. So he has 1 remaining. This will be his last, bowling now over number 18. Figures so far for Vivek Chopra: 3 overs, none for 16. Look at this, advancing down the track. Taking the enterprising route. You like to see the aggressiveness. Ali Syed, 30 from 27 with 2 fours. Looking to dance down the track, but not really getting close to that one. The intent, I think, is what matters. Looking to accelerate these last 17 balls. Clips this one around the corner. Lots of room out there. Don't know if he'll have the legs, but they should be able to run 3. Dave, my goodness. Running again has not been as assured as it could be. So they settle for 2. Decent start to the over though.
Yeah, bad angles. He's got the field in front of square, but the ball's down the leg side. A free swing for Ali, who's been looking to score those boundaries. Not enough legs to go to the boundary, but 2 runs nevertheless.
Straight down the ground this time. Antrai, who's not a very large man, young man, 16 years old, but very skillful. Just looking at him fielding in the outfield. Good strong throw from long on down to the keeper's end, if you can believe that.
That was also against the wind. It took forever to get to the keeper though.
Exactly. In the air, deep. How far does this go? It goes all the way for 6. No, lands just in front of the ropes. It goes for 4. Immediately signaling 4 was Abhinav Sikaram. I'd be right. Forgive me for being tongue-tied this morning. Abhinav Sikaram is what I'm struggling to say, but either way, he signals 4, but more acceleration coming here, as you would think that either of these 2 batters would have full license to go after these deliveries. Clipped away around the corner now, and just a single.
Yeah, the last 3 overs clearly going in favor of the Carolina Smashers. Scored 25 plus runs in the last 2.5, 3 overs. It's not the kind of finish that the Falcons would have wanted. They had tied them down for most part of the innings. There's probably 1 more over left that the vice captain Naman Patel will bowl from the other end. Still not sure who's going to bowl either the next one or the 20th. I They may have to go back to Taranjeet, who bowled that solo over, or bring in a new one. Have to wait and see. But for the time being, it is 89 for the loss of 4 wickets.
Okay, so the last 2 overs, 87, it make that 89 runs are on the board. A bit of acceleration towards the back end of this innings. Currently projected to be right at 99, given their scoring rate of 4.94, but I think you'll see some effort here to offset that sort of a start. This is going to be Vivek. In fact, Vivek Chopra is done. And Naman Patel, I believe it is, with the ball in hand. The vice captain will be bowling over number 19.
And that clearly means that either Taranjeet will have to bowl the last over. He went for plenty of runs in his only over. Or they have to introduce a new bowler, which is something that nobody ever does in a T20 game. The last over to a new bowler.
Right. So Ali Syed on strike, 34 from 30 with 2 fours. Facing up now to Naman Patel. Down to mid-wicket for a single. If you can manufacture the type of close or the type of finish, what does that do for your momentum going through into the rest of the match?
I'm not too sure what they were doing there. They hit it straight to mid-wicket and they just blindly ran for the second, which wasn't there. And it was an easy piece of run out, and the set and the big hitting Ali goes, just commits a suicide just to get himself back on strike.
I will tell you that I completely missed that because I simply assumed that when they hit the ball directly to mid-wicket, that would have just been a single. So the running has been mystifying. In the initial stages of this match, they appeared to have several opportunities to come back for the second, but did not run with any amount of urgency. And here, I think we just saw an actual commission of suicide.
Yeah, it's pretty understandable that they wanted Ali on strike for every possible delivery, but not the way they wanted. Navdeep Dhaliwal is the new batter, gets a shot of length. He's a tall lad, was able to just hit it towards the deep square leg region for a single.
Boy. Well, 4 deliveries remaining in the day with the ball for Naman Patel. 3.2 overs, took a wicket with the very first delivery of the innings. Now facing up to Jeremy De Lima. 14 from 18 with 1 boundary. Good delivery, played back. Nothing wrong with a low full toss at this stage of the innings.
Yes, played pretty decently, given good support to Ali, who went after the boundaries in the last 3 or 4 overs, but now has to become the aggressor himself with little over 10 deliveries, 9 deliveries to be precise, left in this inning.
Slower through the air, took all of the pace off, and that results in a pretty straightforward single. Very similar to the delivery from the very first ball, that somehow they decided to try to turn into 2 runs, this time settling for 1. So 2 balls remaining here in over number 19, 8 balls remaining in the innings. The question is, do you get to 100? Do you get to the point where you generate some momentum that will get you in that direction? My goodness, a attempted hoik over mid-wicket. Bit of a top edge, in fact, that may have just come off the glove, looping into the air, not, in fact, out of the reach of wicketkeeper Sahar Swethan. 1 ball remaining now in over number 19.
Yeah, if anything, Jeremy would want to take a single of this delivery and keep himself on strike. It's not going to be easy for the new batter Navdeep to come and hit those big ones right from the word go on a surface like this. He does flick it towards deep mid wicket. They're trying to get back to 2. Not sure why. They stop, and that's the end of that over. The single takes them to 94 with 1 over remaining.
Okay, so we're at the last over here. Bowling now. Taranjit Singh bowled 1 over, relatively expensive. And he's given the ball to bowl the final over. Taranjit Singh 1 over, going for 11. So by some measures the most expensive of the bowlers today, but looking to bowl something economical here. Struck down the ground. 2 bounces. And right down at the boundary. Limits the damage to 1 run.
Yeah, but the man who's caused the damage in Taranjit's bowling is back in the pavilion. That'll be the only solace for the Falcons in reintroducing him from the same end to bowl that last over. 5 deliveries to go. Navdeep Dhaliwal, tall, muscular guy. Again, can hit the big one, but not sure if he can do that on a surface like this where it's a little sticky. I'm sure he's going to try and heave something towards the leg side like every other batter has tried so far.
Goodness. Almost a return catch, but ultimately creates a dot ball by making sure that ball does not get past him. It was struck fiercely, and you see the reaction of Taranjit Singh, just making sure that his fingers are still there, but he does well to keep that ball from going by.
Yeah, it was a good Yorker length delivery, hit fiercely back, and he put his bowling arm out and stopped that one pretty quickly.
Powered away now to mid wicket, but just a single. So good bowling, a much better over underway. Second over from Taranjit Singh. First one conceded 11, but just 2 from 3 balls bowled so far, and this is second over.
Yeah, and the only drama left in this innings would be if the Carolina Smashers can get those 4 remaining runs and go to that 3-figure mark. Three deliveries left in this innings. Taranjit trying to stop them from doing so. A left-hander, Jeremy, batting on 17, is on strike.
Slower through the air. That is a good delivery. Yorker length outside the line of off stump. A big wave and a miss by Jeremy De Lima.
Just trying to set some targets here. Four runs of 2 balls. Batting first to get to 100.
I like the fact that Taranjit Singh is bowling over the wicket, creating that little bit of an angle going across the lefty. Whipped around the corner. You hear the grunt of disapproval by Taranjit Singh, but it will only cost him a single. So great bowling from him. 1 ball remaining in the over, 1 ball remaining in the innings, 97 runs on the board. You essentially have to strike a boundary. We're switching bats for the last ball. Maybe this is the bat that has the 4 in it. I don't know why it would make a difference at this stage, but let's just see what happens from this last ball. Whether or not this was the bat that would create a boundary, we will find out. And the man who has 3 against his name is going to be looking to switch bats and see what success he can generate from the change of the bat.
It's possibly the willow with those extra grains. Have to wait and see as Taranjit puts one fuller in length, trying to hit that boundary, running hard in the vacant area it goes. Navdeep Dhaliwal able to come back for the second. The wicketkeeper trying to take the bails off, throws the ball. Luckily, no extra run conceded. So the Carolina Smashers batting first at the end of 20 overs finish at 99, setting 100 as the target for the Atlanta Falcons when they come into bat.
So a pretty straightforward target. Run through the score. It's already one ball. Got dismissed first ball of the innings. Atula Year is what its actual name is. Kushar, is that right? 14 from 21. Sudanshu Bajpai, 17 from 28. Varun Papuri, 6 from 10. Jeremy DeLima, 18 from 24. Ali Sayed batted well but was run out, 35 for 31. Navdeep Dhaliwal, 5 not out. 4 wides, so decently bowled innings overall by the Atlanta Falcons. And bowlers now, Naman Patel, 1 for 13. That one again was the first delivery of the innings. And to the extent that here Patel, 2 overs, none for 11. Ansh Rai, 4 overs, 2 for 13. Gurinder Singh, 4 overs, 1 for 21. And Taranjeet Singh, 2 overs, none for 16. Good comeback over for him. So that means a short break. 15 minutes or so we'll be back, where the Falcons will have the responsibility of chasing a relatively modest total, exactly 100. We'll be back as soon as the players make their way back onto the field. Until now, signing off from the Atlanta or the Paramount Cricket Grounds in Atlanta, Georgia. Welcome back to the Paramvere Sports Complex in Atlanta, Georgia. For the chase, the Carolina Smashers only managing to put 99 runs on the board. I think Atlanta Falcons straightforward job here, trying to get an even 100 strike. First delivery, wave and a miss outside off. In fact, that might have thudded back into the batter himself. So back here with Mr. Swetan. Good afternoon. Tell me what you see, what you're expecting. I guess the better question would be, in what over do you think these runs are going to be chased down?
Well, first of all, I see that there's a change in the batting order. Abhimanyu Mithun, the former Test cricketer, more known for his bowling prowess, is opening the innings. He can hit a long ball, and he hits that handsomely over the bowler's head for a couple of bounces, gets his boundary. He was in good batting form yesterday against the spinners. Didn't bowl today, opens the batting. And if he can get going, the answer to your question would be around 13, 14 overs, I would imagine.
13, 14 overs. Obviously, if you've played Test cricket, you could bat an average, 1 or 0 in Test cricket. At this level, you're probably one of the better batters in the park. So boundary to close or to start the scoring. Looking again to go big. Finds the outside edge, and it will fly down to deep third for a second boundary consecutively. Looking to take the attack on. It doesn't look like he wants to stick around 8 without loss already.
It's very clear that he wants to enjoy some batting. He's just trying to hit the ball, make use of the power play, get the boundaries. Not the convincing way to get his second boundary, but 4 runs added. So already off to a flying start. Just 3 deliveries as against the Smashers start. They lost the wicket of the very first ball, but the Falcons 8 on the board with just 3 deliveries.
Well, the bowler is Krishna Name, bowling from the northern end. This one a little too far outside off for the liking of umpire Byron Roberts. So look at that. Already 3 deliveries in. You're almost, in fact not almost, you are almost 1/10 of the way towards your target.
Yeah, and then talk about Abhinav Shikharam. Easily the best batsman in the Falcons lineup so far in this tournament. Scored runs in both the games, like I said earlier. And he was in a very, very positive frame of mind yesterday.
This is interesting. So he walks across the third legal delivery of the innings. He walks all the way across to the offside, essentially showing all 3 of his stumps. So he's trying to send some message here, wants to accelerate tremendously, and I'm not sure that I would have known that he would have had that mindset coming out, but he wants to take the attack to the Falcons, make that to the Smashers. It'll be interesting to see if he keeps the same mindset.
They were talking about his return back to India. Maybe they booked a 2 o'clock flight or something of that sort.
It might be the case. Now the lefty on strike, Abhinav Sikaram, down the leg side. Bonus runs. It may go on. In fact, it's slowing down. It won't get all the way to the boundary. They'll get 2. So I believe these are wides. I'll be looking to see what is signaled here by umpire Byron Roberts. Yep, there's a wide. So 3 bonus runs. And this is not starting out the way that you want it if you are the Carolina Smashers. Defending a really small total, you have to be very miserly and you have to take wickets. None of which is happening right now.
Yeah, Vamsi Krishna, the opening bowler, unable to adjust to the left-hander, bowling it outside his leg stump, a big wide. The keeper unable to stop it. It was too wide. Goes round the wicket, trying to change the angle, and finishes that one. The first good ball of the over, I should say.
Certainly a good delivery. Around the wicket, so you lose the advantage of creating the angle across the left-handed batter, but if it means that you have to go around the wicket to bowl the right lines, then you'll accept that. So the last delivery now in over number 1 to be bowled to Abhinav Sikaram. In the air for a bit, but straight to mid-on. into a relatively sedate end to the over. Started out with much excitement, closes with a couple of dot balls. One in the books, the score is 13 without loss. One over bowled, 13 runs come from that over, 4 extras, 4 wides, and 9 runs off the bat, including a couple boundaries by Abimanya Mitun. Now bowling from the southern end. A bit of wind is picking up all of a sudden. It'll be interesting to see whether or not this has an impact. The wind is coming from over our right shoulder, so it's coming from the southeast. Looking to see whether or not we can tempt these batters to hit into the wind. That might be the thinking here. So, new bowler coming from the southern end. We'll get to him exactly in a second. Big wind up and a thick inside edge. Ball goes down to wide mid wicket. Once again, I think you're exactly right. Abimanya Mitun looks like he has a plane to catch at 2 o'clock.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he doesn't bat up the order in most games. So he gets this opportunity. He didn't bowl an over. So bringing himself on with the bat, trying to score just in boundaries and sixes. Varun Papuri is the bowler from the commentary box end. Again, unable to adjust his line to the left-hander. Bowls it down the leg side for a free run for the Falcons. Varun Papuri, a gentle medium pace bowler, plays in the adult league in North Carolina. It's pretty good bowler. Gets some wickets consistently. Is trying his hand in this level, competitive cricket. After having played a lot of recreational cricket. A young boy. And Abhinav Shikram yet to get off the mark. He's facing his 4th delivery. Was in a very, very positive frame of mind yesterday. Gets a short pitch ball. Frees his arms. Hits it over the backward point fielder. And there was nothing other than 4 runs for that shot.
Yeah, that ball is not going to trouble very many batters. Abhinav Sikaram is a really, really good young batter, lefty. Every lefty loves that ball. Really, every batter loves that ball. Free hit outside the line of off stump, bouncing, so nothing threatening about the ball in either length or line. And just opening up and cutting that over the top. So gets off the mark of the boundary. He'll like to see that. So will Krishna, by the way. And good looking stroke into the offside for no run.
I wouldn't be surprised if they introduce spin quite early in this innings, especially the way the medium paces have started from either ends. Vamsi Krishna giving 13 runs on his from his very first over. Varun Papuri again bowling the wides and conceding boundaries. They did see some purchase for the spinners, so they might want to. There's a little bit of an opportunity. The ball sticking into the surface a little bit. And luckily for the Falcons, not carrying to that mid-wicket fielder. 1 run taken in the process. Score moves on to 20 now. A slight change. They're bringing mid-off in and pushing long on outside. Abhimanyu Mithun looking to be very aggressive. He's on strike to face the last ball of over number 2 from Varun Papuri. A pitched up delivery, goes straight up in the air and caught at mid-off. It's a wicket that Varun is going to talk about for a long, long time in his cricketing life. To everybody in North Carolina, his friends, relatives. He'll make some phone calls, Facebook posts, Instagram. Gets the wicket of a test cricketer.
Well, he'll be proud of that. I guarantee you that he will bowl very many balls that are better than that one that could have been hit anywhere. It was in the slot and it was drilled, hit very hard. But luckily for Varun, Papuri directly to mid-off and the catch taken. Not easy to take those catches that are hit directly at you flat in that fashion, but that will not matter one bit to him because, as you said, he did take the wicket of a former Test player. So, 2 overs gone, 20 for 1. So 20 for 1. The hard-hitting former Test batter is out. Captain Abhimanyu Mithun looking to be very, very aggressive. He gets a few runs, but it doesn't exactly come off the way he wants it to. So the new batter is Hir Patel joining Abhinav Sikaram, who's now at the crease. Wanting to take a single there. Don't know that realistically it would have been possible, and that's a good piece of fielding, a pickup and a direct hit at the non-striker's end. Luckily for Hir Patel, he remained in his crease. So we said earlier, we didn't say, you said over number 13 is when this innings will be finished. Do you still stick to that number?
Depends on how the spinners operate. They do have some good spinners in Abhiram Yaruva, another youngster from North Carolina. He's 16 years of age, very similar to Ansh Rai. Plays cricket alongside Ansh, Saharsh and all those guys. Picked up 3 wickets yesterday. Vamsi Krishna continuing from the far end. So the loss of Abhimanyu's wicket has introduced some new energy in the bodies of the Carolina Smashers. You can see that they are a little upbeat now. Continuing with Vamsi Krishna, bowling to Hir Patel now, the left-hander. He bowled particularly well in both the games that he operated in this tournament. Gets an opportunity now with the bat.
The 2 lefties at the crease now, Abhinav Sikaram, Hir Patel. Interesting looking field. We'll describe the field in just a second. This going down the leg side though, that's not going to help. So 2 fielders allowed outside the circle. There's a fielder in the deep at long on. Make that long off. And in fact, before that delivery, deep fine leg was inside the circle. He had moved up inside the circle for that delivery, now dropping back. Probably because of the fact that that ball went down the leg side. Just wanted to make sure you protect those areas. Good delivery and defended in front of mid-wicket by Hir Patel.
Yellow helmets, bit of a rarity in cricket. I see both of them wearing yellow helmets, almost to say that if you're a left-hander you need to wear one. Wouldn't mind that coming from Chennai myself.
Well, that's the first thing that I think of when I see the yellow helmets. It's an interesting bowling attack that's played through the backward point area. It really should have been a dot ball, but they'll end up with 2.
Yeah, he flashed hard at that one, went down to the ground, and the fielder couldn't get down to stop that one in time. Sudhanshu Bajpai goes through his legs, and luckily, because of the grass on the outfield not going to boundary, it would have been a boundary on any other good outfield, not this one.
Yeah, the outfield is a little thick, and even though it's not quite as wet as it ordinarily has been from this tournament so far, it's a good looking shot. Played defensively for no run, but there has been a lot of moisture earlier in the tournament. This time of the day, it's dried out a little bit, but the outfield itself is very thick. The grass doesn't allow for the ball to roll across it very quickly. So One ball remaining now in over number 3. Just 4 runs coming from it so far. So a good comeback over by Vamshi Krishnanami. And I may have just jinxed him. Worked it around the corner. They may come back for 2. Yes, no. And he finally gets on his horse and gets there for that second run. 6 runs coming from the over. At the end of 3, the score is 26 for 1. We are 25% of the way to the target. The Atlanta Falcons batting on 26 for 1. Another 74 runs needed in the next 102 balls. So certainly the advantage is with the chasing side. Varun Papuri, vice captain, back into the attack, conceding a single. That ball going down the leg side. So the action of each of these opening bowlers is a little bit curious, not exactly fluid. There's one sort of a hitch right before the delivery, and I don't know whether or not that's something that he will choose to work on. That right there. I don't know that you generate the same amount of momentum running through the crease if you do that type of you deliver in that way, but something to pay attention to. I don't know that it has much relevance to this game, but realistically speaking, that first over that he bowled went for 7 runs, and the second over so far, 2 balls into this over, has conceded 1.
No, I have no idea what you're talking about from a fast bowler's perspective. Never bowled anything in my life.
In the air, catchable, and gone. Look at that. So here Patel looking to accelerate, wanting to go over the leg side. There's a lot of vacant space out in the deep on the leg side. The only fielder in the deep behind or outside of the circle is that deep square leg. So tons of room at mid-wicket. That's the area he was aiming at, but only succeeding in spooning. Pretty simple catch. And after I just criticize him, he comes right in and takes a wicket.
And he tells you that he's the vice captain of the team and has picked up his 2nd wicket. So something for Varun Papuri to cheer about, in addition to taking the wicket of Abhimanyu Mithun in his previous over. Heer Patel, more or less a nothing shot, trying to heave that one. Gets a top edge, goes straight to short third man, and safely taken. So 1/4 of the way there with the chase, but have lost 2 wickets, the Falcons.
By the way, the Falcons are 1/4 of the way there in terms of the runs needed. The Smashers are 1/5 of the way there in terms of wickets. So all you need is 8 more wickets. You don't get 10 wickets without first getting 3. And you keep picking up wickets at regular intervals. You don't know what might happen here.
And if I was the coach of the Falcons, I would say that both the wickets were lost to some rash approach towards batting. Just need to play regular cricket. They haven't done anything to get the wickets, not taking anything away from the bowling side, but both the wickets were kind of thrown away. If they play proper cricket, keep their shape, get your 1s and 2s, they should easily win this one. And the US under-19 captain Rishi Ramesh comes to the crease with the fall of Heer Patel's wicket. He's not scored any runs in this tournament. It's been that sort of a tournament. He's gotten out for no runs in both the innings that he's played. He was kicking himself yesterday, but this is a perfect opportunity for him to score 30-40 runs against this bowling lineup of the Smashers and go home with a happy face.
Outside the line of off, and yet another wide. So, in fact, I said yet another wide. That's unkind. That's actually the first wide being bowled so far in the innings. Umpire Anvesh Achanta indicating as much. So again, you don't get to 10 wickets without first taking 2 and 3. And this is a good ball. Bang on target, on off stump. Well defended by Rishi Ramesh.
Yeah, he'd want to get off the mark as quickly as possible, Rishi. Get that monkey off the shoulders. And then once he gets going, we all know what he can do. He's a pretty smart, good-looking batter. Scored back-to-back hundreds in the under-19.
Well, he's not going to score them today. It's wrapped on the front pad. But in the eyes of umpire Anvesh Achanta, that is doing enough to hit the stumps. Probably hitting the top of middle and off maybe. And look at this. Again, you don't get to 10 without first getting to 3. Well, you've just gotten to 3. And 3 wickets have fallen inside the power play. And I don't know, Rishi Ramesh, you mentioned, has not gotten very many runs. And he will not get them today, unfortunately, for Rishi Ramesh, USA U19 captain and a member of the championship-winning Dallas Mustangs, is going to have to go take a seat. 3 wickets down, 28 for 3, if you can believe it.
He was caught on the crease there, Rishi Ramesh. Can't very clearly say if it was going to hit the stumps from the angle we're sitting on. The umpire decides that it would have rattled the stumps. The pad came in the way, and Rishi Ramesh has to walk back as slowly as Inzamam ul Haq ever did.
Certainly has to walk back. Will not be happy with that decision, Rishi Ramesh. Looking at our replay, I don't know that we have the best angle for it. So I don't know in terms of the line where that ball would have gone. Certainly was at a length that suggested that it could have hit the top of the stumps, assuming that it was on the right line. So I think we need to give credit to umpire Anvesh Achanta. Obviously, he's the one who's in the best position to be able to make that decision. And so you go with what the umpire says. And maybe perhaps it's a lesson for those who are young cricketers to know never ever question the umpire's decision. Whether or not the umpire got it right is not really part of the equation, because the umpire is also, not also, but always the umpire. And part of the game is respecting the umpire's decision, and Rishi Ramesh will know that. So new batter in. Oh, interesting. I missed that live. The new batter in is Sahar Swetan, and that's why you've heard silence coming from my right. That is the end of a successful over. 2 runs coming from it, 2 wickets fallen. The score after 4 is 28 for 3. So 28 for 3, Abhinav Sikaram, 7 from 9 with a boundary. Sahar Swetan just arriving new to the crease. A dot ball from the one delivery that he faced. And so a very undercooked total is what we thought we were looking at. But all of a sudden, they are struggling. The Atlanta Falcons looking to maybe gain control of this chase, but they're on the back foot well and truly as the Carolina Smashers have taken a few wickets here.
Yeah, this match is very quickly turned on its head. Varun Papuri, spirited effort, getting 3 wickets. We were talking about early introduction of spin and all those things a couple of overs ago when the boundaries were coming, but they're continuing with medium pace and have shown them and shown the world that they can pick wickets. They've picked 3 of them.
Good looking square drive. 2 is the call. I don't know that they'll get there. That's a great piece of fielding from the fielder running back from backward point. That is Chinmay Kushari. good sliding effort to keep them to 1 run. So again, if you're going to be looking to defend a small total, you have to take wickets. And you take wickets by building pressure. You build pressure by either bowling dot balls or by spirited effort in the field, which is what you just saw from Chinmay Kashari.
It does bring Saharsh back on strike. He looked very good with the bat yesterday. Played at number 8. Was the batter who remained not out for the Falcons. Scored 15 run a ball. And he's very positive usually with his bat. It's not a high pressure game.
In the air, my goodness. That is not going to make either Sahar Swethan or the man seated to my immediate right very happy. Looking to turn that away on the onside. A leading edge just ballooning up into the air, and the simplest of catches taken by Vamshi Krishna Name. So Sahar Swethan walking off dejected. Maybe that one stuck in the pitch just a little bit, and he got through the shot too early. Just lobbing the simplest of catches back to the bowler. 4 wickets are down, if you can believe it. And all of a sudden, the one team that is almost halfway toward victory is not the chasing side, but the side in the field. 28 would make that 29 for 4.
Yeah, stopping on the surface a little bit, angle down. I was trying to flick that one towards the square leg region. Close the face a little too early. A leading edge, a simple catch to the bowler. 4 wickets down. The Falcons are making this game more and more interesting.
Well, Taranjeet Singh is the man who's coming in to join Abhinav Sikaram. Abhinav Sikaram, 8 from 11 with 1 boundary. Taranjeet Singh about to face his first ball, and all of a sudden this match appears to have been turned on its head. Played into the offside for 1, I believe. Don't think there's a second run there. No, not going to have that second run. Good, strong throw back into deep end. So what you need from this stage, in fact, I'll ask you, Shwetan, what do you need to do from here? How do you steady the ship? How do you get your team pushing back toward victory if you're the Falcons?
It's not going to be very easy, having lost 4 top order wickets. Abhinav Sikaram has to play right through, and then the other batters have to just play alongside. Look to play straight, look to play the spinners late, but you clearly see the ball sticking and stopping. So look to play straight, get those 1s and 2s. You don't have to look for those big boundaries. They do have some good spinners. That particular fielding effort is going to help the Falcons overthrow what should have been a dot ball. The pressure was building with no runs coming, and a freebie there for the Falcons. Yeah, so look to play all 20 overs. Get your 1s and 2s going. It's not a big score. Not chasing 130, 140. Should be easily possible if they just play 20 overs proper cricket.
Taranjeet Singh. In the air, catchable and gone. Believe it, 5 wickets are down. The simplest of catches, not much in the shot. Either keep that one down or elevate it over the top. Choosing to do neither, Taranjeet Singh, and chipping the simplest of catches to mid-off. Half of the side is back in the hut.
Yeah, clearly this seems to be a game between 2 teams trying to say who's bad with the bat. Taranjeet Singh, a totally unnecessary shot with 4 wickets down, hitting in the air. We're just talking about getting those 1s and 2s, not trying to do that. Everybody wants to hit those big boundaries, throwing their wickets away. 30 for 5.
Actually, it's the case of the resistible force against the movable object, because neither team appears to want to dedicate themselves to winning this match. And especially given that the Falcons are looking up at a very, again, undercooked total, I would have to think that if you settle yourself and, as you mentioned, keep the ball on the ground, play in the V, that is really all you need to do from here. But I'm not sure why that element of the game, which ordinarily you would think would be well developed given the fact that there is a former test player operating as captain, that would be the form of the game that would seem to be within your grasp, but not to be. Now just one ball remaining here over number 5. And Try is at the crease. Saw him bowl beautifully earlier. Well, he's now going to be asked to pull his team out of.
Yeah, the scorecard says Ansh Roy, but the new batter in no way, shape or form is Ansh Roy. I think it's number 27. Looks like it's Rohan. Not very sure. Maybe you can.
Dabir. Yep, that's exactly it. So you're right there, Rohan Dabir.
I'm wondering what's going through the mind of Abhinav Shikharam. He's probably gotten used to this. Third day in succession, seeing wickets fall at the other end. Taps it towards the point region, runs across for a single, and he would hope that the new batter would also get into taking singles and twos, not try to hit the big ones.
Yeah. From our end here, the scorecard has made a couple of adjustments, so I believe the exact score right now is 32 for 5. We'll confirm that as soon as we can, but again, one team is halfway to victory, and it's not the team that is chasing the undercooked total, and that's confirmed. The correct score right now, 32 for 5. We're 2 delivers into over number 6, the power play overs. So still needing to go through the next 4 deliveries before you can spread the field out. But again, I don't know necessarily that you want to spread the field out, because you have to take wickets. And if you take wickets, you do that by building pressure. Building pressure happens more effectively if the field is in. Short pulled away, that may be 4. It may have the legs to get there, and in fact it does cross the rope at square leg. Welcome boundary here for the person who is reputed to be Ansh Roy, but who we believe is
Rohan
Dabir.
A rank bad ball there from Varun Papuri. Doesn't bowl like a person who's picked up 3 wickets. Set the field in and bowls a short one down the leg side. Easy pickings for Rohan Dabir, despite being the first ball that he faced.
So maybe that helps you generate a little bit of momentum. Here's the next delivery. Outside the line of off. Just watching this one go through. Curious look back at the umpire, Rohan Dabir. But Anvesh Achanta of the opinion that this ball is sufficiently inside the line, that guideline that is used to denote whether or not a ball is wide. So 2 balls remaining. The scorecard again jumping around a little bit. I'm not exactly sure what the issue is with it. But here's the last 2 balls of the over. Oh my goodness, was that a drop? The reaction of the bowler, not exactly sure if he's indicating that that should have been taken, or whether he's just excited about the fact that he bowled such a good delivery that went by the bat of Rohan Dabir.
Varun Papuri, after that bad delivery, has come back nicely, bowling that off-stump channel. Ball moving away off the surface. Beats the outside edge on back-to-back occasions.
And this is dropped into the outside. No run. A successful over. Successful from the standpoint that you're limiting the opposition from scoring, and that's exactly how you build pressure. Apart from that one long hop, just 5 runs coming from the over. Scores 36 for 5 at the end of the power play. So we're out of the power play. Total that we thought would not offer much challenge to the Atlanta Falcons is proving to be very difficult. Rohan Dabir 4 from 4 with that boundary that you just saw, of what you saw earlier on in the innings, or in the over, my apologies. Abhinav Sikaram opened the batting, 10 overs, 10 runs from 14 balls faced with a boundary. And now a new bowler coming from the northern end is Sudhanshu Bajpai. And there is a spin that we were looking for. Bowling now to Abhinav Sikaram. Going off the back foot, trying to force this one away, not making contact.
Yeah, he's a good leg spinner, Sudhanshu Bajpai, and with the surface offering something for the spinners, he would come into action. Depends on the line lengths he bowl. Starts off well, right outside the off-stump channel, bowling into the left-handed Abhinav Shikaram. If he and Abhiram Yerua can pick up a couple of wickets, they would seal their victory here. On the other hand, Abhinav Shikaram and Rohan Dabir would want to construct a partnership, get 30-40 runs between them.
3-dot ball starting things off here in over number 7. Looking to force this off the back foot, missing out on that shot, Abhinav Sikaram. So this is exactly how you build pressure. Dot balls will always build pressure, and that induced a bit of a rash shot now. Going to be up to Sikaram to know that he can just simply do what he just did. Just punch the ball down the ground and pick singles up. That singles at this stage are going to be your best friend as you look to reconstruct something close to positive innings.
And Abhinav Shikaram will hope that Rohan Dabir will provide the support. He's a senior player, Rohan. Just stay there, get your ones and twos. Don't lose any more wickets. Put a 30-40 run partnership, and then it will become a little more easier for them. But right now they've dug themselves a big hole. Sudhanshu Bajpai comes in to bowl the last delivery of his first over. Finishes off in style. Just 1 run conceded, adding to the pressure of the Falcons. They are 37 for the loss of 5 wickets.
Well, you called it. Abhiram Yeruva, ball in hand. Leg spinner. He'll be bowling now to Abhinav Sikaram. Yep. So a challenge here. Abhinav Sikaram knows that there's a lot that depends on him from here, and knowing that the responsibility is going to have to be his. Lost 5 wickets. So not a whole lot of batting to come afterwards. It's also the case that you've been there the longest. 19 deliveries for your 11 runs. So much depends on you. Going to have to be careful to not play any rash shots, not get out, but at the same time, you'll need to push toward something resembling a positive end to this game. Looking to take a quick single here, not there.
Yeah, despite being a match of not high significance, there's a lot of matchups within this game. Right now it's Abhiram Yerua, under 17, North Carolina, bowling to Abhinav Shikaram, under 17 from Texas. So there is a lot of cricket that they've played against each other. They'll want to make the better use of opportunity, get the better of the other person. And also Abhiram Yerua had a conversation with Ansh Rai during the middle of the innings, between the innings rather. he would want to do something similar. He'd want to go home with a couple of wickets and match up Anshu Rai's performance.
So you're halfway through the over. Dot balls is what you're seeing a lot of. There's a strike down the ground, a couple of bounces. In fact, there's a fielder down at deep extra cover, so they'll get a couple. And it really would be the case that that's all that you need if you're Abhinav Sikaram. You've been there, now you're up to 23 balls faced, and it would require you make that 22 balls faced, and it simply requires you taking charge of the situation, playing to your strengths, making sure that everything that happens from here on is something that you are able to create. A dot ball there. So one ball remaining here in over number 8. Only 2 runs coming from the over so far though. And the required rate now is up above 5. I don't know that's necessarily a huge concern because you still have much fewer runs to get than balls in which to get them. Inside edge goes to square leg. You should just get one here. That's what they'll get. But good over from the standpoint of it being economical. If you are the smashers, you like that. But the Falcons will take heart in knowing that Abhinav Sikaram is still there. 8 overs bowled, 60 for 5. Make that 40 for 5.
Sudhanshu Bajpai, the leg spinner, will continue. So it's 2 leg spinners in operation, bowling 2 good back-to-back overs. Abhinav Sikaram and Rohan have to deal with them possibly another 6 overs if they bowl their entire quota continuously.
My goodness, a full toss that Abhinav Sikaram any other day would have hit into field number 2. Full toss surprised him and he didn't do much with it. Ended up just looking to defend it, missing out. That's a better delivery. But also played into the offside for no reason, or no run, no reason. So a couple of dot balls. The last 2 overs, edge, a lot of room here. They may get 3, well, just 2. Good work from the keeper, flicking the gloves off and making sure that he prevents more than just the 2 runs in a looking to keep the runs under control. Good start overall, but once again, you don't need much more than what you're getting right now from Abhinav Sikaram if you're the Falcons. 16 from 28 balls faced, 1 boundary. So you don't need for him to go necessarily at a run a ball. Oh, he back foot and that almost...
Sikaram, he can cause himself a lot of trouble doing that on a surface like this, and Sudhanshu is actually mixing it up nicely, but slow ones and the flippers. Has to be very, very careful here.
Too far outside the line of off. In fact, not too far outside the line of off because umpire Byron Roberts keeps his hands at his sides. So 1 ball remaining now over number 9. Scoring has been relatively difficult. This is going to be forced to extra cover, not fielded cleanly at extra cover, and they'll get a single. I believe that's Varun Papuri standing at extra cover and not able to prevent that single. So 9 overs bowled, 4 runs coming from this over. The last 5 have yielded 16 runs, if you can believe that. So good bowling overall so far by the Smashers. Required rate from now is about 5.09. Score after 9 is 44 for 5. So Abraham Yeruva to continue bowling from the southern end of the ground. And it has to be said that he's bowling into in fact, he's bowling with a stiff wind at his back. Really sort of swirling across the field, but more so coming from the south than the north. So if this ball is hit in the air, particularly on the onside, it may be hit into the wind. So something to continue as he bowls now to Rohan Dabir. Finds the outside edge. Indication that the leg spinner is being able to turn that ball. And I think you're seeing some evidence of this going to be a difficult chase the rest of the way, because the spinners are in operation and they're not being very easy to score off of. In the air for a while. Look at that. Diving stop. Throw at the keeper's end, or the non-striker's end. That could very well have been a run out. Good work in the covers, but they'll get a single.
Chinmay Kushari, very agile and athletic in the cover region, dives to his right, creates a doubt in the batsman's mind, and almost causing a run out. Had enough time to recover and run through for that single. Rohan Dabir stopping midway in the pitch in the process of taking that single. Could have been a little ugly if they had lost that wicket in the form of a run out. The last thing that the Falcons would have wanted. This time, a little bit of room outside the off stump. Abhinav Shikharam stays on the crease, place it in the cover region. Looked very handsome, and then they get the extra overthrow. The fielder at mid-wicket, unable to stop that one while backing up. So 3 easy runs given away. They'll be kicking themselves for that effort, the Smashers. Abhiram Yerwa bowls a slightly shorter delivery, no protection there. It goes deep into the mid-wicket region. The long on had to come around. He does well there, trying to come around, stop that from going past the boundary line. Throws it back. 2 more runs added. So this has become the over where the runs have started coming. 6 runs already with 2 more balls left. Well flighted delivery. Chance of a catch? No. Just eludes the fielder at short cover. Goes over his head. The mistake was created by Abhiram from the bat of Rohan Dabir. Unfortunately, just goes past the fielder. Another run conceded. Abhinav Shikharam back on strike, batting on 20. He'll face the last delivery from Abhiram Yerua, which is a ranked bad ball. Not sure what he was trying to do there. Looked like a 12-year-old trying to bowl for the first time. Abhiram bowls into the surface. Abhinav Shikharam just hits it towards the deep fine leg region for a boundary. So 55 it is now for the Falcons at the end of over number 11. So Rohan Dabir ready to take strike after the disastrous over from Abhiram Yeruva. Conceded a lot of runs. Has sown the confidence back into the minds of the Falcon batters.
interestingly, they are now scoring exactly at the rate at which they need to score to win this game. What I mean by that is the run rate required is 5, the scoring rate is 5. So they need another 45 runs in the next 54 balls. 5 runs and over. Yeruva bowling again. Gets this one very full and straight right in the block hole. And after a relatively expensive over, 8 runs coming from that last over, bowled by Yeruva. Bajpai with the opportunity here to pull things back, because again, you're still looking to defend a relatively low total. No one thought you'd still be in the game at this stage. In fact, a couple of us thought the game would have already been over. Not yet over, but you have a lot of work to do here. This is played into the deep. It's going to go away for 4. Banged over extra cover. A loose delivery from Bajpai. Not exactly sure why he's gesturing, because essentially it was a loose delivery, short and outside the line of off, put away for 4.
It gave the width to Rohan Dabir to free his arms, hit over the cover region. There was no protection, and it sounded beautiful the moment he hit it. It was always going to go for 4. So things are becoming a little easier now for the Falcons in the last couple of overs, courtesy some poor bowling from the bowler Sudhanshu Bajpai. Until that point, bowled very, very nicely. Still given away only 9 runs of his 2.5 overs. Another full toss there. A little bit of a mishit. Once again, safely past the short mid-wicket fielder who's standing 20 yards from the wicket. Could have been straight down his throat had he been standing on the 30-yard circle, but wasn't the case. A bad ball, a mistimed shot, results in a single being taken.
Abhinav Sikora, 24 from 31, 2 boundaries. Good looking stroke into the extra cover area for no run. And 1 ball to come here in over number 12. 5 from the over already. So you're maintaining the rate at which you need to score. And that's stroked into the deep. May just think about a second, but just deciding to settle for 1. So a run a ball in that over, 6 coming from the over number 12. Another 39 runs needed from another 48 balls. We'll be right back.
A change of bowling after that second over from Abhiram Yeruva has been taken off. Some pace being reintroduced into the equation. It's number 20.
That's opening bowler Vamshi Krishna Name bowling his last over. 3 overs bowled so far. 2 for 22, so he'll want to hopefully knock 1 back here, and he'd be really happy if that 1 was Abhinav Sikaram. 25 from 33 with 2 boundaries, bowling around the wicket to the left-hander. Good looking stroke into the extra cover area again, no run.
Abhinav Shikaram, the opening batter, will be comfortable, will be happy to see the medium pacer coming back into operation, but the smashers bringing him back to try and get a wicket. A little bit of a partnership has been built between Abhinav Shikaram and Rohan. They want to break that, and that'll be their only opportunity to come back into this game.
A couple of dot balls to start things here in over number 13. So big picture, the required rate is 5.09. You do not have any issue whatsoever scoring that number of runs per over if you have wickets in hand. So wickets are going to be a bigger story here. It's played back down the ground. Abhinav Sikaram wanting the second. Good running here. And the throw coming to the keeper's end. That second run was created by Rohan Dabir, who immediately called for that second run as soon as he touched down at the keeper's end. And so good aggressive running. That is one way that you can offset any pressure, by turning those ones into twos. Sikaram now goes up to 27 from 36 and 2 boundaries.
Yeah, Rohan Dabir, they're pushing Abhinav for the second run. Abhinav was kind of ball watching, turning back. A quick flat throw right on top of the stumps would have kind of had him. Once again, driven to mid-off. The fielder comes in swiftly this time and keeps it down to 1. So far, trying to utilize Vamsi Krishna's last over hasn't gone in favor of the Carolina Smashers. 3 runs have been scored of the 4 deliveries. He has 2 more opportunities to try and get a wicket and break the partnership. The Smashers will be hoping that he can do that. On the other hand, Rohan Dabir and Abhinav Sikaram, they may not be looking for boundaries. They would not want to lose a wicket. Get a couple of runs and see this through.
So right arm now over the wicket. Great delivery. Goes across the right-hander. Apparently that was a leg cutter. Pitching and then leaving. Zipping through at pace to the keeper. So that's a good ball. 1 ball remaining now in over number 13. 3 runs from the over so far, so you're not out of the woods yet by any stretch of the imagination. And it is going to be Rohan Dabir, who to date 14 from 16 with 2 boundaries, so he has shown some ability. Slower delivery, well played. Defended in front of the stumps for no run. That is the end of over number 13. 64 for 5, another 36 needed from 42. So your scorecard says 11.1 overs. Our unofficial tally is the end of 13. So my sense is that the scorecard is incorrect. I think big picture we're looking at a score of 64 for 5. So another 36 needed in the next, I believe, 42 balls. So for the moment, assume that what is showing on the scorecard isn't exactly accurate with regard to the number of overs and the number of balls. But the 2 numbers that matter are 64 runs for the Atlanta Falcons and 5 wickets for the Carolina Smashers. Abhinav Sikaram, 28 from 37 with 2 fours, playing a responsible innings, stroking us down the ground for a single. Abhiram Yeruva with the ball in hand, 2 overs, make that 2.1 overs, none for 15. And you can absolutely do it in singles from here if you are the Atlanta Falcons. Certainly don't need any big shots. Scoring rate required from you is 5.12, so you can simply push the ball around and create singles scoring opportunities for yourself, and that really is all that's required from this stage. Rohan Dabir, 14 from 17 with 2 boundaries. Pulled around the corner. That's a great stop from backward square. They'll get 1. Coming back for the second. Throw coming to the keeper's end. And he gets there in time. But I will say that he saved 2 runs at backward square. That is Chinmahi Kushari. Diving attempt and making sure that that ball did not get past him. So never know in the context of this game what difference those 2 runs saved will make. but you're now down to 33 from the next 40 balls. Rohan Dabir looking much more enterprising, much more expressive. 2 runs from that last delivery, so now another 4 balls left in the over, tapping this into the offside, and they run through for a single. So we're halfway through the over number 14 in progress, and I'll tell you what, this is not going to be very easy because the pressure has been built to the point where each of these batters knows that they cannot get out. Swipe outside the line of off, and Abhinav Sikaram again has been there for the longest, 29 from 39 balls faced with 2 boundaries, but he does know that a lot depends on his shoulders. See what happens. These last 2 balls of this over number 14 struck hard and wide up, long off. He'll get one, wanting a second. Oh my goodness, almost a little too eager to get down to the other end, but he gets back in time. So single, 1 ball remaining now in over number 14.
They've done well to recover the Falcons after being 5 down for 30 odd runs. They've got the 30-35 run partnership between Abhinav and Rohan. Now it's important that they continue. Some poor fielding and bad bowling has helped them recover. They are at 69 at the end of that over, needing a further 31 to win this game.
So once again, 69 for 5 is the score. Our unofficial target, or our unofficial tally, says 14 overs have been bowled. So despite what you might see on your screen with regard to the overs, I think that is incorrect. 69 runs means that you need another 31 if you are the Atlanta Falcons. Abhinav Sikaram forces this one off the back foot. That's a good looking stroke. You'll get at least 2 runs here. And it is now bowling taken up by Navdeep Dhaliwal, forcing one off the back foot, and it goes away for a couple. So good start to the over.
I was surprised that off spinner was not introduced into the attack with Abhinav Sikaram at the crease. If they had seen how he got out yesterday, he got out to the off spinner, pitched on the leg stump, turned away, beat the outside edge, and was cleaned up. Navdeep Dhaliwal, a pretty decent off spinner, coming into the attack and bowling round the wicket straight away to the left hander.
Here's this one off the back foot again. So just 3 deliveries bowled so far. A double off the first one, but then a couple dot balls. So getting the right effect from having the off spinner bowl around the wicket to the left hander, having him play away to the offside. That's a drag down, and it's cut away but caught at backward point. So he got a ball that he really could have hit anywhere. Abhinav Sikaram tried to play the cut shot, but only finding backward point, did not keep it down, and all of a sudden the 6th wicket falls. That is not what you wanted to see if you're the Atlanta Falcons. Abhinav Sikaram opened the batting, was there the longest. You thought that he would have been the one to shepherd his team on toward victory, but loses his wicket here as he cuts this ball directly into the hands of backward point, and that is now the 6th wicket down, 71 for 6.
Poor timing, that the fall of the wicket for the Falcons. They had reconstructed this innings pretty well up until that point. Off spinner being introduced. I was just talking about that just a minute ago. It was a bad ball, short of length. It was there to be hit. Unfortunately for the Falcons, and Abhinav Shikharam goes straight into the hands of the fielder waiting at backward point. So drama nicely setting in here at field number 1. This is the Atlanta Open 2023 Group A match between the Falcons and the Carolina Smashers. Both teams in search of their first and consolation victory here. Who's going to go home happy? 29 more runs needed with 4 wickets in hand. This is building up nicely. We're in for a good finish.
Off spinner coming in and striking immediately. Navdeep Dhaliwal now bowling to the new batter, right-hander. Ball going by outside the off stump. So big wicket taken there. The big wicket of Abhinav Shikharam, who again was batting really well. Now this is Ishan Goyal who's coming into the wicket. And 1 ball remaining here in over number 15. This game gets that much tighter. Looking to add pressure now as deep square leg comes inside the circle. Looking for a quick single. They will get there without much fuss. A good way to close things out in that over for the bowlers, because, or for the bowling side, the Carolina Smashers, because they have taken the wicket of Abhinav Shikharam. Atlanta Falcons back to
So 28 runs needed and 30 deliveries with 4 wickets in hand for the Falcons. Ishan, the new batter, having faced just 2 deliveries, is on 1. Rohan, the long stay, is on 17. And Sudhanshu Bajpai will finish off his quota of 4 overs with this one. Starts off well with a dot ball. Every dot ball will add a lot of pressure from this point onwards.
off the back foot now. So you're looking to regain some control over the proceedings, but the reality is that you're starting to get behind where you're trying to get to. Short, hammered away into the deep. Good sliding stop out there, long on though, so just a single. So you've gotten to the point now where 3 delivers into over number 16. You need another 27 runs, and you have to get them from 27 balls. So you need literally a run a ball the rest of the way. The scoring rate, or the required rate, all the way up to 6, which doesn't sound like much in modern day cricket. That's something that you can do without much fuss. But the reality is that you have not gotten anything close to that type of a required rate all day. It's been more hovering around 4. So another dot ball there means that the required rate is now above 6. So you're falling behind, and only 4 wickets in hand. 73 for 6 is the score. A lot of work to do here.
Yeah, with an outfield as heavy as this one, it's going to call for a lot of good running between the wickets. A couple of big hits will definitely help. They do have the muscle power to do that, but the bowling's been pretty tight. It's a lot of pressure. 2 deliveries to go in this over. Sudhanshu Bajpai bowls another good delivery. The pitches in middle stump and turns away. No room or length for Rohan to attempt a big shot. Last ball of Sudhanshu's spell coming up. He'll want to finish strong, and just gives him a little bit of width. Does Sudhanshu just hit towards the deep cover region. This protection there, 1 run taken to finish that over, and the score is 74 for the loss of 6 wickets, 4 overs to go, and 26 runs still needed.
So the last 24 balls to go, 26 runs needed. And it's going to be again Navdeep Dhaliwal, 1 over bowled and took a wicket, a big wicket of Abhinav Sikaram, looking now to bowl to Rohan Dabir, 18 from 23 with 2 fours. It's driven down the ground for a single. So those relevant numbers are now 25 needed from 23 balls. And from here you're going to see, I think, some desperation start sneaking in, both from the batters and from the bowling side. This is coming down to be a lot closer. There is evidence of desperation. Does he get away with it? He does not get away with it. A running catch, a brilliant running catch taken here, running in from long off. That ball skied in the air, stayed in the air for a really long time, afforded enough time for the fielder down here at long off to go running in, in fact just outside of the circle, completes a really good running catch, and all of a sudden it is 7 wickets down now, 75 for 7.
Yeah, the 7th victim for the Falcons down with that brilliant effort from the fielder running in from long off. Well-flighted delivery, tries to go with the wind, still not able to get it right. Ishan goes back to the pavilion, making it that much more difficult now for the Falcons. The new batter is Gurinder Singh. He can hit the ball. We saw him hit a few lusty blows in the last 2 games that he played, but never stayed and played a long inning. That has been his problem in this tournament. He is a left-hander.
Well, he's not going to be asked to play a long innings here, Gurinder Singh, because all that is needed is 25 runs, but you only have 22 deliveries in which to get them. And of course now you're facing up to the off spinner, who is going to be able to generate turn away from you. So that essentially takes away your power game. It's going to be interesting to see whether or not he can do enough to maneuver the strike and get the right-hander back on strike. You get the sense that if there's any big hitting that's required, it's going to have to come from the off spinner, off of Rohan Dabir. Well, I see exactly how wrong I was on that. Going down the leg side with this delivery from around the wicket, so gets the line wrong, and it is happily accepted as a gift from Gurinder Singh, pulling it around the corner for 4.
Angled down, another freebie, a rare one offered, and Gurinder Singh, as I said, can hit the ball really hard, does not make a mistake. He takes that gift from Navdeep Dhaliwal and puts it away. A much needed boundary to ease things up slightly in favor of the Falcons.
So that boundary means now that the run rate is back down to 6, the required rate. So pay attention to what happens from here. In the air, catchable, but no one there. Boy, he's going to be absolutely horrified at that. The keeper himself runs from well behind the stumps to sprint all the way to the boundary. 2 more runs, because that easily could have been a wicket. Nobody home, and you get 2 very fortuitous runs.
Keeping everybody on the edge of their seats is Gurinder Singh, trying to go after every delivery. He got the boundary. Maybe Rohan should just go and have a word with him, ask him to just play another 10-15 deliveries, hit those odd boundaries, and they should be through.
Played into the offside now. Quick single. Quick pickup and a throw, but good running. Good commitment to that single. And so now, one ball remaining here in over number 17. 82 runs on the board. That means you only have 18 runs to go from 19 balls. The equation there is slightly in your favor. You're the Falcons. Smart cricket is what's required from here. With the right-hander on strike, throwing them here. Again, if there's any turns into him, but you don't necessarily need to hit big here. What you've done so far in this over has worked. 8 runs from the over so far, even though you've lost the wicket. So it's going to be up to you to play it with a calm head. Face this last delivery. Go down the ground for a single. So that is a good way to close things out in this over. The Atlanta Falcons, 9 runs coming from the over. Even though they lost the wicket, they're 9 runs closer to victory. 18 balls remaining. So we're down to the last 3 overs. Change in the bowling. Sai Tejas Komati Reddy, I believe, is the bowler. Kind of difficult to identify him. Yep, that's exactly who it is. So Sai Tejas Komati Reddy, who's actually the captain, has not yet bowled a delivery. Brings himself on to bowl over 18. So this is an interesting move on his part. Played this away through the offside for a single. So just now another 16 needed from the last 17 balls.
Yeah, Rohan Dabir's role is going to be very, very critical. He's doing the right thing by rotating the strike. He understands that it's just run a ball, wants to take it deep. He has to. Gurinder may not be the person who can curb his instincts and score the singles. He's somebody who will want to go after the bowling. He'll want to get those big 6s and 4s. Can cause some damage to the chase. Needs some constant advice and talking from Rohan Dabir. Just needs 16 of 17. We thought this game was going to get over pretty quickly, but isn't the case. It's becoming another nail biter.
Driven in the air, that's a big strike, and it goes all the way for 6. That is an excellent strike over the top of long off. That is not an easy shot to play. And for the first time today, you see one of the umpires, in this case Byron Roberts, raising his arms because that goes all the way for 6 over long off. And that relieves much of the pressure. You're now only down to the last 10 runs needed from 16 balls.
It's very interesting how you approach it from here. He's
slower delivery, lofted down the ground, and it takes his own time coming in. No commitment to come back to try to take that catch. The ball stayed in the air for a while. It was almost as though that fielder long on gave up. 2 more runs very easily could have and likely should have been a wicket had he been more committed to that.
Gurinder saying it's my way and nothing else. He's just going after the bowling. It's working so far for him and the Falcons. They're now down to 8 runs. All the pressure has been taken away.
There he goes again over the extra cover area. Now the sweeper on the boundary cleans up. So 9 runs in quick succession from the bat of Gurinder Singh. 10 runs total from the over so far, with 2 to come. And 7 runs needed. 7 runs from the last 14 balls. So this over effectively has changed things, essentially swinging the game 180 degrees. 10 runs already from the over. Slow through the air, playing this off the back foot, going for a quick single. They'll get there without much fuss. Good running. Again, good commitment. One ball remaining here in over number 18. And just now one big Gurinder Singh strike from this game being finished.
Yeah, that big six followed by a couple of ones and twos has taken all the pressure away from the Falcons. Last ball of this over coming up.
It does go for the six. Where does it end up? It does go all the way, and that is the end of the match. So they made it very difficult, the Atlanta Falcons. But all of a sudden, a few luster blows come at the end of the match, and Gurinder Singh takes things away from the opposition, finishes with 6 to make that 22 from 7 balls faced with 1 4 and 2 sixes. The Falcons take victory by the small margin of 3 wickets, and a game that you would not think would have been that difficult was made difficult. But towards the back end of this match, some aggressive hitting by Gurinder Singh sees them home. So the scorecard: Abhinav Sikaram 32 from 44 with 2 fours. Abhimanya Mithun 10 from 6. Then some worrying single-digit scores in the middle order. Hir Patel 4, Rishi Ramesh not, Sahar Swetan not, and Taranjit Singh 1. But then Rohan Dabir with a calm head in the middle, the bottom of the middle order, 22 from 27. And then after a quick dismissal from Ishan Goyal, Gurinder Singh coming in to apply the finishing touches, 22 from 7 again with 1 4 and 2 sixes. The bowlers, I thought, all bowled well. The big star with the ball was Varun Papuri, 2.1 overs, 3 for 14. In fact, for not 2.1. I believe that is incorrect because, again, there was an issue with the scorecard. But he took 3 wickets for 14. Vamshi Krishna Name, 2 for 25 from his 4. And Navneep Dhaliwal, 2 wickets, 2 for 12. So that is the end of the match. Group A matchup that sees the Atlanta Falcons in the matchup of 2 teams searching for victory. The first one to find victory in the tournament is the Atlanta Falcons. So that is the end of things here from field number 1. Join us again in about 30 minutes where we'll have the beginning of the next game, which is going to be a barn burner. It's going to be the UMMC Knight Riders, I believe, against the Atlanta Lightning. I think that's the matchup the rest of the way. For now, signing off from the field number 1 here at the Paramveer Sports Complex. See you in a bit.